You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney prior to and during any question. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. Do you understand your rights?
When the wolf is at your door, your running's over, that's for sure. He already knows all about you. Cut you down, no matter by you. Now you better walk the line. Real life, real
Warning. This episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, may contain descriptions of acts of violence or that of a sexual nature and should be for people that are 18 years or older. Heed my warning, people. I do not get the facts of these cases off of the internet or from some television show. The facts I'm retelling you were presented to me by the victims of the crimes or the perpetrators who committed the crimes against the victims. My descriptions of the crime scenes, what I saw with my own two eyes. If you're going to get offended, please turn this podcast off now. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. And as always, I'm your host, Woody Overton. And again, before I get started, shout out to my Patreon and Convict members who subscribe. I hope you're enjoying all the extra bonus material and episodes. Thank you so much. You make the show run. Okay, y'all, today, it's got to be one of the longest series I've ever done, but Mo continues, and this is where it really gets sweet. And you talk about good police work, right? From the beginning. From the crime scene being processed to developing the suspects to the streets talking and getting people to come forward and disproving what Jarrell Marshall had said, getting warrants like almost immediately, and then him turning himself in and denying everything. But then what do? You build the case around it. Everybody he mentioned, you go check their oil, right, and see if he was telling the truth. Well, guess what? Jarrell thought all those homies were going to take care of him, right? The ones he had made the admissions to about the murder. And them dudes were like, fuck that. And when it came down to the nut cutting time, it is what it is. They told the truth. So as detectives, we had to it just went from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And we developed the probable cause. I would tell you it's way beyond a reasonable doubt. We could have gone on trial right away with this and won. We worked it, and we did what we did. We worked it all the way up until the point, and we had warrants for Mo. Jarrell's locked up. We've interviewed everybody that there is to interview. And so what are we doing now? We are waiting on Mo, okay, to get arrested in New Orleans. And it happened, all right? Brian and I get a phone call. It wasn't long, y'all. Once we turned to one, the New Orleans Police Department, they damn well knew who Mo was, but George Hefney was. I mean, he was like a banger, right? I mean, been shot numerous times and suspected of multiple murders and stuff like that. So they got him. And we get the call. Brian called me and said, hey, man, they got him. He's in Orleans Parish Prison, otherwise known as OPP. Now, let me tell y'all about OPP. OPP, or Orleans Parish Prison, was consistently rated as the worst central lockup in the United States of America, and had been for like 20 or 30 years. Kind of like Bloody Angola, Louisiana State Penitentiary was rated the worst prison in the United States. Orleans Parish Prison, holy shit. This place was a shit hole. All right. And if you go into New Orleans on Interstate 10 and you hang a right like you're going towards the Superdome, and you can go down and it would be this big, tall, like fucking huge building. And I don't know how many floors it was, probably 20 plus floors. And it was all prisoners. But it's run by the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. Now, Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office did not have a criminal division. All they did was take care of prisoners and do courtroom stuff, which is different. Most sheriff's offices have, they have the enforcement capabilities, et cetera. But for whatever reason, in Orleans Parish, New Orleans Police Department handled all the criminal enforcement. The Orleans Sheriff's deputies were prison guards or courtroom guards or whatever, right? So, but this building, I mean, so Brian and I load up, we go down there, and we're not expecting to get anything out of this cat. I mean, his fucking criminal history was long and impressive, right? And I think he's a hardened criminal. He's not going to say shit. He knows he's up for the death penalty. And it takes us an hour and a half to get there. And Brian had never been to OPP before. I had numerous times. And this is right before, keep in mind, this is right before Hurricane Katrina and Rita, right? When Katrina came, it fucked OPP is done with. It's just, it totally closed it, fucked it. And it would never be the same. So this is like really May, June, July, August. It's like 3 months before this place was totally destroyed. So Brian and I pull up to it, and look, it takes city blocks, right? That's how big it is, city blocks. And you got to find a place to park. It was nighttime when we got there. I remember that. And we buzz our way in. And look, NOPD, we jokingly say that NOPD stands for no other police departments because they don't give a fuck if you're a cop from somewhere else. And it's kind of the same way about Orleans Parish Prison. I mean, they don't really give a fuck. In most places, if you go to the parish prison or to the prison or the jail and you show them a badge, fuck, you get the red carpet treatment, right? They will roll out and they handle business for you, whatever you need to do. And professionalism, not Orleans Parish. We get there and you're standing outside, trying to get buzzed in through a Sally Port, this monster building. You look up, it just absolutely blacks out the sky, and it goes for like several city blocks and smells, people. Before you even hit the fucking building, the smell of the body stench and the odor just hits you. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, you know, New Orleans stinks, right? Everybody knows that. Like, you're walking down Bourbon, you know, it has that certain smell. This is way, way fucking worse than that. All right. And so they buzzed us into the interior, and whatever officer was at the desk or the deputy was at the desk, we told him we were there for Majority Cheffney, and he was locked up on our warrants, and we wanted to interview him and then transport him back. And fuck, it took fucking ever. And after 30, 40 minutes, I went back up to the window and asked the deputy, and they were like, let me check again. And then it came back and said, but we can't find him. I'm like, what you mean you can't find him? She said, you said his name's Majority Cheffney. I said, ma'am, here are the warrants. You have them in your computer. She said, well, we can't find him. And I'm like, did you lose him? I mean, he's down for a death penalty charge. I mean, what the fuck you mean you can't find him? Now, y'all, that I think part of this was I really don't give a fuck attitude. I'm drawing my paycheck, and they don't care what police department come in or whatever. I mean, but how in the fuck do you lose somebody? Well, that was OPP. All right. When they said it's the worst central lockup, I've heard stories of people getting lost for like weeks, and you know, the guards, the inmates trying to get the guards to tell them, you know, get some help or whatever. And the guards like fucking ignoring them. And this place is so
massive. You could see that, the guards walking down the tiers might be like, well, fuck it. I ain't got to worry about them. Let the next shift worry about them. And people literally get lost for weeks at a time. And like this, they lost our guy and shit. He hadn't been locked up for 5 or 6 hours and was in for first degree murder. But long story short, I asked to speak to a supervisor and I got, that I said, look, man, I said, I'm not here to fuck with you. I'm not here to fucking pull your chain or whatever. I said, but this is fucking serious. This is a death penalty case. And I want to talk to your supervisor. Remember, y'all, everybody answers to somebody. And supervisor came up and I was like, look, she's saying that they can't find this guy. He's in for first degree murder warrants that we have on him. I said, do I need to call the sheriff and get some help here? Is it an escape? And he's like, no, man, we're going to take care of it. And he gets on his radio, calls whatever. He said, I'll be back in about 5 minutes. And he came back. Of course, we had secured our weapons in the car outside, and he buzzes through. He said, you want to interview him first? I said, yes, we do. So he buzzes through into an interview room, and we sit down by this little metal table, and this is actually like you see on TV, and they bring Mo in the door. Now, let me describe him for you. In Patreon and Convex, you'll have the pictures put up. The Mo comes in, and he's in his OPP orange jumpsuit. He's handcuffed at the waist and he's shackled at the feet. I say handcuffs at the waist. They have the cuffs and they have a black box and they have a chain belt around their middle. And that black box is chained with the key facing towards your stomach. So you can't manipulate the keyhole from the outside. So they bring him in like that. And he's a little bitty thing, y'all. He was short and like black, like, I don't know how you describe that. I don't know, but not midnight black, but something close to that. And he had this short, frizzy hair, not an afro or anything like that. Probably had it cut in the last couple of weeks. And he had that very distinct scarring underneath his eye. And it really did look like a teardrop. And so they bring him in and sit him down, and we talk to him for a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead and read you the transcripts. And of course, naturally, remember on these transcripts that we talk to these people generally for a little while so we can get the story straight before we start recording, because we had those little fucking mini cassette tape things that were like 30 minutes on each side, and you would have to stop and swap it, and it's just a pain in the ass. So let me read it to you. I think you're going to find this interesting. Now, you got to remember, Mo comes in, he's got a bit of attitude right out the bat. He's straight up fucking gangster, don't give a fuck. And at some point when we talked to him, he'd lifted up part of his shirt and was showing the different gunshot wounds he had and shit like that. He was a fucking banger for life, right? So we're going to start with, I'm only going to read one more transcript after this, but it's very important. But this one is really important. And then we're going to do the trial, and I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to him, and I think you'll be shocked. All right, so here we go. It says, remember, y'all, I'm going to say Brian and what Brian said, and Majority, and then what he said, and me and what I said. All right? So it's State versus Majority Cheffney and Jarrell Marshall. Statement taken from Majority Cheffney, Detective Brian Smith, and Detective Woody Overton. Brian. All right, I'm Detective Brian Smith with Detective Woody Overton. We're at the Orleans Parish Prison. The date is 5/14/05. The time is 22:48 hours.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts to spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdown scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
We were speaking with Majora Chefney, right? Majora, right? And y'all, that's the other thing. Mo had this little deep froggy voice, like deeper than mine. He said, right. And, Brian, what's your date of birth? Majority, inaudible. Brian, okay, we advise you your rights. You understood your rights? Majority, yes, sir. Brian, okay, basically, we want to talk to you about is you're aware of the homicide that took place on Ed Brown Road, right? Majority, yes, sir. Brian, all right, with one, Sean Alberts is the one that got killed. He's the deceased. Can you tell me what you know about that? Majority. Well, I know the red guy, which is inaudible. Christopher, yeah. Back in April, Christopher broke into somebody's house, and they were supposed to be one Jarrell, one Daryl, Cordell, one of those people. Brian, you talking about Jarrell Marshall? Majority. Yeah, yes, sir. Brian, from Albany? Majority. Albany. And so that's all approach the guy and ask him, get stuff from him. That's when he drawed down, and the dude Chris pulled out a gun. So when after they left, Jarrell and them doing like, they gonna get them, inaudible. They gonna get them. Woody. Hold on one second. Earlier, when we talked before, started making this interview, you said they're carrying stuff and y'all got out on them and you said he pulled a gun. Did he fire the gun? Majority. Yeah, he shot 2 times, 2 shots. Woody. Chris did? Majority. Chris, yeah, the red one. Woody. That's Chris Belazar? Majority. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know his real name. Woody. If we showed you a picture of him, you'd be able to identify him, correct? Majority. Yeah. Woody. Okay. Majority. So lead up like a month done passed that when they say they come to the house, they was in a car. It was Jarrell, Travis, and Cordell, and Josh. They came and come and get some black and some black shirts and some black pants. And they say they saw Chris and they say they were going to see what he got. So Jarrell wound up leaving his phone at the house on the charge. That's how I got his phone. And the next morning, I went to the store in Rodney's truck, and on my way coming back up Old Baton Rouge Highway, I turned on Dillon Lane. I couldn't get through, so I called Rodney's phone, asked him why all the police was out there. So he said he gonna walk down there to call him right back. So when he walked down, by the time he got down there, I called him back. He was like, the police looking for me for a shooting. So then I told him, I ain't shot nobody. Brian, let's go back. Let's go back to Thursday night real quick, okay? Thursday night, when they came over to your house, to Rodney's house on Dillon Lane, you said Jarrell came over there? Majority. Yeah. Brian. And he brought it to you? Majority. Cordell. Brian. Yeah. Cordell. Majority. Yeah. Brian. And Josh? Majority. Josh and Travis. Brian. And Travis. All right. And what'd they ask you for? Woody. Oh, was Josh and Travis related? Do you know that? Majority. I think, yeah. He said brothers. Brian. All right, go ahead. What'd they ask you for? Majority. Black shirt, some black clothes and shoes. Brian. All right. Who actually put that on? Did you see them change into it? Majority. No, they ain't changed into it right there and then and there. Brian. What was Jarrell wearing? Majority. Jarrell had on blue jersey, some black Dickies, and some white shoes. Cordell had on a black and audible shirt with some black Dickies with some black shorts. And Travis, all of them had on all black, but one of them. Woody. Which one was that? Do you remember? Majority. I think was Josh. He didn't have on no all black. Woody. Josh Dantzler? Majority. No, Travis' brother, Josh. Woody. Okay. What kind of what clothes did you give him? Majority. Black shirt, black pants, and black shoes. Brian, you had said earlier that they asked you about a gun? Majority. Yeah. And they asked me if I had a gun. No, they asked Rodney. Then he asked me, did we have a gun? And told him no. Brian. Rodney was at your house? Majority. Yeah. Brian. When they came by? Majority. No. Rodney was there with us. Randall was there with us. He asked me, did I have a gun? Woody. What did they tell you at this morning? Majority. Inaudible. I was inaudible in Albany, and he was going to take care of his business. They ain't said nothing about he was going to kill nobody or nothing. They just said that he was going to take care of their business from Chris pulling out the gun and shooting at them. Woody. What point did they ever tell Jarrell wouldn't talk to them the next day? Did he ever say anything to you about the shooting? Did any of them ever say they was there or whatever? Majority. No. They ain't say nothing about it. But I had talked to him, but they ain't never said nothing about it. Woody. Did you ask him about it? Majority. No. Brian. You talked to Jarrell? Majority. I had heard, but I ain't. I was thinking the gun. If they fired the gun, everybody kept saying something about got killed in Albany. Something might have got killed in Albany. Brian. You talked to Jarrell Friday? Majority. Yeah. I talked to him a couple of times, calling him from his phone. Brian. What was your call? What did he say he was doing? Woody. You know where he called from? Majority. He say at first he was in GP. Then they say they was at Springfield. They kept saying different stuff, like I was supposed to be, riding on them or something, banging the police, where they calls every time I called they and tell them ask where they in Springfield. I'll call like 10 minutes earlier when y'all were in Albany. I'm meeting times from Springfield and Albany to Springfield and Albany, 10 minutes then. Brian, but who are you calling? Majority, huh? Brian, who were you calling? Woody, or was he calling you? Majority, I was calling Jarrell's phone. Woody, okay. Majority, Jarrell had a phone too. Woody, you were calling on Jarrell's phone? Majority, no, I was calling, I had Jarrell's phone. I was using Jarrell's phone to call them. Brian, what time do you think this was when y'all were calling each other back and forth? Majority, about 11, 12, the 1. Woody, during the daytime, correct? Majority, yeah, during the daytime. Brian, what kind of car was they in when they came Thursday night? And what time was it? Majority, it was a little black looking car, about 11:30. Woody, was it black? Cause earlier you said it was green. Majority, I said it was black or green. Brian, was it a car or a truck or what? Majority, it was a car, like a little small looking car. Woody, was that the car Travis and Josh? I know it's confusing, man, cause Majority, yeah, man, Travis. Woody, Travis's brother. Majority, Travis's brother's car. Woody, Travis's brother is Josh. Majority, right. Woody, oh, so they ain't never said nothing to you about it? Majority, no. Woody, first, let me ask you this. So you stayed at Rodney's house the rest of the night? Majority, yes, sir. The morning till the next morning, about 8:30, something like that. Woody, what time did Rodney get home? Majority, Rodney be coming home like 1, 2 in the morning. Woody, yeah, like 1, right? What time did he get home that night? Majority, I don't know. I just knocked out sleep. Woody, well, where did you sleep? At Rodney's house. Majority, living in the couch. Woody, okay. Majority, Rodney's room is in the back. Woody, so one more time, what I'm saying, you said that they had a problem with Chris, the red one. Majority, yeah. Woody, they had fired 2 shots. Majority, 2 shots. Woody, Chris ain't from the area. He ain't from Albany. He's from Independence. He stays down there with his girlfriend, but he fires 2 shots to clear them out. And earlier that day, before they came over, they asked you about a gun. What was it they asked you about a gun? Getting a gun? Majority, Chris? Woody, oh no. They asked Rodney, you said. Majority, No, they asked me. Woody, to see if Rodney had a gun? Majority, yeah, they asked me if I have a gun or did Rodney have a gun in the house. Rodney wasn't there. Woody, when was that? When did they ask you that? Majority, Thursday. Woody, that night? Majority, inaudible. Woody, was it during the day or night? Majority, it was during the night. Woody, when they came to get the clothes? Majority, yeah. Woody, okay. Brian, and that was around 11:30 at night. Majority, 11:30, 12 o'clock, about that time, I was asleep. Woody, and then you gave them, what kind of clothes did you give them? Did you give them to Josh? Majority, no, I ain't getting them to Josh. I gave them, Woody, you said Josh was the only one that wasn't dressed in black. Majority, right, but he ain't asked for them, no. I don't really know Josh, like, I ain't never, like, Woody, yeah. Majority, I ain't never seen. Woody, that would be like a stranger showing up at your house. Majority, yeah. Woody, asking to borrow something. Majority, I know Cordell, Jarrell, and Travis, and so they'd be at E-Tops, and my Uncle Rodney, he'd be always, because, like, that's how I got to know them. Woody, and who asked you for the clothes, though? Majority, it was Jarrell. Brian, Jarrell asked you? Majority, yeah. Brian, okay, and they left, and you didn't hear from them until the next day when you called them on the cell phone? Majority, right. Brian, all right, did you ask them something about what happened with what did they do that night, or? Majority, no, I was really none of my business. Brian, and they didn't offer any information about it? Majority, no. Woody, just answer this. How long have you known Jarrell for? Majority, not long, about 5 months or so. Woody, you said earlier that y'all, if you see him.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
He talks, well, y'all go outside and drink a little bud, and he'll come over to Rodney's and hang out. Matter of fact, he came over at Rodney's house that night when he had asked you for the clothes. He left his cell phone there on charge. Majority, on charge. Woody, so that he's pretty comfortable with coming to Rodney's house, right? Majority, I'm not, spending the night. Woody, He comes over sometimes, occasionally, correct? Brian. And visits? Woody. But you definitely said more than, hi, my name is Mo to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hung out a little bit, right? Majority. Yeah. Woody. Okay, sir. So Jarrell should know who you are, right? Majority. Right. Brian. All right, man. You got anything else, Woody? Woody. I can't think of anything else. Just, pal, I appreciate you talking to us. Brian. You got anything else you need to add, Mo? Majority. Inaudible. Brian. Question on tape 2. We refer to Mr. Majority. Is that how you pronounce your first name? Majority. Majority. Brian. Majority. Majority. Yes, sir. Brian. Cheffney. Majority. Cheffney. Brian. Cheffney. And your nickname is Mo, correct? Right on you got something on you want to add or take away from this statement? Majority. No, sir. Brian. That's it, all right. Woody. Wait, okay, I'm asking one more question. You didn't go to Ed Brown Road where that boy was shot that night, right? Majority. No, sir. I ain't had nothing. I had over 4 people in the car. I want to go with them, but they ain't never tell me where they were. They tell me where they was going, but I ain't really knew. I wanted to go. They said they had too many people in the car. You can't ride, you know, down like ride with 4 people in the car. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go to sleep now. I'll see y'all tomorrow when you come get your phone. Woody. All right. And, all right. You definitely, you ain't had nothing to do with it here. That's your statement. You ain't had anything to do with this killing. Majority. No. Brian. All right. This is going to conclude the tape statement. The time is now 23:01. The date is still 5/14/05 at Orleans Parish Prison. All right, y'all. So you just heard it. The reason I did his voice and none of the voices on the other transcripts is his voice really sounded like that. He sounded like Froggy. Y'all remember Froggy from the Little Rascals? I got there. I expected the dude wasn't going to say nothing, but he had enough time to get his story straight. And his story now is he still sells Jarrell the fuck out. Jarrell said he'd never met Mo, doesn't know it. Mo wasn't around, blah, blah, blah. And then we got all these other witnesses that had already proved Jarrell was lying his ass off. Just a ton of them, right? That he's lying. And then we get Mo. Well, fuck. Mo thought he was smarter than Brian and I. And he was a straight hardcore gangster. And what he said was, and I don't know if you picked up on it, was that a couple weeks before the murder of Sean Alberts and when Christopher Belazar got shot, they were at E-Tops. Remember, I told you in one of the past episodes, when you take the left off of 190 and going out of Albany towards San Jacinto Parish, and you cross the railroad tracks onto North Cafe Line Road. As soon as you cross the railroad tracks, there's a big, long bar, E-Tops. And Sunday nights, that's when blacks or African Americans, whatever you want to call them, from all over the state and Mississippi would come to go to this bar. It was like 1,000 cars there, right? But that was the only time I ever saw them busy. It was on Sunday nights. We always had shit out of it, fights and gunshots and shit like that. But the Mo is saying he was at E-Tops, and that the red one, Christopher Belazar, the red one, y'all, he's referring to Christopher Belazar being a light-skinned black male and with a kind of a reddish tint to his hair, right? And he said the red one had pulled a gun on him at E-Tops and fired off 2 shots. And that's how he knew of him. But he swore to God he wasn't there that night, right? And he not only does that, he puts it on Jarrell Marshall and everybody else that he thinks is already ratted, Cordero and RJ and all of them. He's like, fuck that. They came and tried to borrow some clothes from me. They got all black clothes, and asked me about a gun. Yeah, fuck you. And then the best of it all was when I got him, he said, no, I tried to go with him, but they said there was too many people in the car. Get the fuck out of here. The 4 people in a Ford Explorer, you can't ride? Shit. You must not really be their homie, right? But was the story that he heard about it afterwards, whatever, but he never says he has any direct knowledge. Definitely says he wasn't there, that he was home asleep and all this shit and whatever. So what do you have now? We never recovered the firearm. But you had so many witnesses, including a living witness, Christopher Belazar. Mo calls him Red. Yeah, let me just say this real quick. If I say Red, or like in this case, when I've been reading directly from the transcripts and I say the N word, that is not Woody Overton. I don't give a shit what color you are. I am not racist in any kind of way. I'm telling a story. All right. So if I ever say the N word, it is being directly read from something that's a matter of public record or read or anything like that. But anyway, the Mo is denying everything, but you know what? He's no stranger to the game, right? So we get him, we do the paperwork, transfer paperwork, and we drive his ass back to Livingston Parish and take him and lock him up in Livingston Parish jail for first-degree murder of Sean Alberts and attempted first-degree murder of Christopher Belazar, and then the 2 armed robberies. This dude's been in like prison almost his entire life, and I forget how old he was. I think he's in like young 20s, and then he's been shot up. He's got scars, bullet holes all in his body and stuff. It's just, that's the only life he ever knew, So, but anyway, we bring him back, lock him up in our jail. Boom. It's not over. I'm going to do one more episode. On the next episode, I'm going to tell you what happens once he gets back to Livingston Parish. And then in that, I will include the trial, and I'll tell you what happened to him and what has happened to him since. Okay. Very important. Last episode, we'll finish it out, and I hope y'all are enjoying the series. Appreciate and love each and every one of y'all. Go download Real Life, Real Crime anywhere you can get a podcast, or follow me on Instagram at Real Life, Real Crime, or at Overton Woody. Go download our free Real Life, Real Crime community app from the App Store. Join, y'all. It's for free. It's got everything true crime in the world that you can imagine in it. Daily news articles, members posting, you can win coins. It's got games, it's got all kinds of shit. Go check it out. And it's only censored by me. Patreon convicts, thank you again for your support. The show would not run without you. By the time you got this, the 2nd season of Scorched Justice, my other podcast, should be out. And I'm going to be diving. When I say diving, I mean like deep diving. Big show production, everything that I don't have here, the music, the big producers and all that Cloud 10 Media and iHeartRadio are having me do. Scorched Justice Season 1. If you haven't heard it, I covered the murders of Jessica Lynn Chambers in Mandy Ming Sheen show. Go listen to it. It'll blow your mind. And it's definitely a scorched case. It's 10 episodes long. And so go check it out. Totally different than Real Life, Real Crime. It is a production where this is me just telling my own stories behind the mic. But I get to use my experience, and I really do believe I brought a conclusion to the case that hasn't been recognized yet. But on the 2nd season, which drops on July the 5th, holy shit, I'm going to be covering the conviction of Darlie Routier, who's now on death row in Texas for the murder of one of her 3 children, two of the boys, young boys, were murdered. The other one was upstairs asleep with the dad. They were brutally murdered, stabbed to death. And they only tried her for one in case they didn't get the conviction. They could come back and try her for the other one, right? Well, they got her. They convicted her in 1996 and sentenced her to die. And she's been doing the appeals all these years. Now, the case is absolutely scorched. Oh my God. You would look at it and think, yeah, this dirty bitch, how could she do this to her kids, right? And then you get to where I'm at, and y'all, I'm way, way deep, okay? And I've had numerous personal communications with Darlie Routier from Texas Death Row after I had got into the case and found some things that are just absolutely shocking to me. And so listen to season 2 of Scorched Justice. Download it anywhere you can get a podcast. Like it and subscribe and all that good podcaster stuff. And LOPA, if you are a lifer from Tomah, Wisconsin, and you want to become an organ donor, you don't have to be from Louisiana, but LOPA stands for the Louisiana Organ Procurement Agency. If you want to become an organ donor, go to lopa.org, take 2 minutes, fill out the questionnaire, turn it in, and be a hero. Save lives. And I'm Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast. Until next time or ever, don't let me catch you down on Murder Bayou. Peace. Real Life, Real Crime is a true crime podcast brought to you by your host, Woody Overton, executive producer, Jim Chapman with Envision Podcast Studios. Your music is provided by Chase Tyler and the Chase Tyler Band. Follow me on Instagram at Real Life, Real Crime or at Overton Woody. Check out our numerous social media pages. Also, go to the App Store and download our free Real Life, Real Crime community app, which contains all things real life, real crime and true crime, and uncensored and run by me. Wherever you listen to a podcast, go like, subscribe, and review to Real Life, Real Crime or my other podcast, Scorched Justice. Thank you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney prior to and during any question. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. Do you understand your rights?